Yep. I'm going into it, right? So this is what a philosopher Jew looked like. This is what an original Jew looked like. All right. Dr. Ben. Okay. All right. These are, you see that? This is what they look like, people. And this is just out of Black Man of the Nile and his family. All right. Just the fact that you have the European or the Caucasian Jews who usurp and supplanted the original Jews and hijack their whole identity, names, and every fucking thing, right? We know that from Dr. Ben, we know that, and from biblical accounts of Moses, right? They could not have been as racist as the Jews today, because if Abraham and Moses were white people, right? They would not have married Ethiopian or Africans. You get what I mean? So with that alone, we see that there's fraudulent accounts on who is the original Jew. Because in the Bible, the Caucasian is he's everybody, right? He's hiding behind black skin, right? He's put on black face, right? So when you read Deuteronomy chapter 28, verses 1 through 68, you would think that that is dealing with black people, but it's not dealing with black people, okay? Because black people only identify with the curses. They don't identify with the blessings. They are yet and still, through faith, waiting on these blessings, right? All of their blessings came in the form of a white Christ, okay? That they don't understand the mythology. They don't understand the anatomical and astronomical and astrological and Freemasonic nature of what the Holy Bible, or Helios Biblios, Book of the Sun, the Children of the Sun. They don't understand the esoteric information in it. They take it literal, and they won't do enough research to actually go back and find out. It's easier to just believe and just, hearken into the words of what God said. They won't go get the councils and download them on their PDF files and get all of them, because this is like that at the touch of it. But they won't do nothing. It's easier to believe. It's easier to have a crutch. It's easier to just lean on somebody else. It's easier to walk by faith to actually do the work, because you will be held accountable, not by me or nobody else, but yourself, right? Knowledge yourself does that, right? That's the magic of having knowledge yourself, right? It removes all of the bullshit, the lies, the fucked up way of life, or just the Caucasian way of life that you live. Because once you have knowledge yourself, you'll understand why a particular point or type of integration is needed. Okay, and we're not talking about amalgamation sexually, right? But this is why we thrived in ancient times like we did. Okay, because we understood that, as Master of himself would say, you never see the left side on the right side of the hemisphere of the brain, right? Though they work together, okay? It's like the masculine and feminine energy, right? They work together. You can't have one without the other, okay? So as above, so below, as within, so without. I am you, you are me, we are one, okay? So with that being said, man, let me just get to this, man, because these people just in fear of losing whatever throne that they sitting on, because people need to know the information. There have always been egalitarian societies. There have always been hierarchies. So there's always been some type of, I can't even call it racism, but there has always been some type of form of prejudice and dislike and discontent with different peoples. Okay, So with that being said, or among a people, you know what I mean? But with that being said, man, let's go right into it, man. So the Neanderthal or Neanderthaloid cousins of the early white Hebrews were the red hairy ones of the Bible. Contrary to popular belief, the Neanderthals were both highly intelligent and had larger brains than modern man's. The early white Hebrews had Neanderthaloid cousins, the red hairy ones of the Bible, who were the descendants of Esau, the Edomites, and chosen people from the Caucasus. Michael Bradley presents incredible information about the white chosen people. Now, you can also get some of that out of this particular book by Michael Bradley called The Iceman's Inheritance, okay, which is a very, very heavy read, man, okay. Michael Bradley presents incredible information about the white chosen people. With that being said, man, the Caucasian is the chosen people of the Bible. That's why they reap the benefits. That's why they took Palestine. That is their nation. Was implemented in 1947. They were established as a nation. Okay, this is all the ploy, the propaganda, the agenda for this new world order, this one world order, as well as these particular people being in power. Okay, that is what that is about. Okay, you need to go check my video out. You know what I'm saying? About the Hebrews, you know, and who they really are. And the Holocaust wasn't all what we thought it was, okay? Back with documented evidence, he proposes that because whites develop in a hostile refrigerated environment of the ancient Northeast, they genetically develop extreme aggressiveness as a strategy for their survival, and this accounts to a large extent for their taking first place as the most violent, aggressive, and warring people on earth. Bradley writes, rabbinical tradition, the exegetical works, as well as the Esau story in the Old Testament, indicate a continuing, very strong Neanderthal genetic strand among the Israelite tribes, a strand that they try to eradicate by various means. There should be nothing odd or particularly shocking about this. If the Caucasus Elburz region can still produce strongly Neanderthal people today, how much stronger must the Neanderthal presence have been in the distant past? Okay, and I'm reading for Suzar's Blacked Out Through Whitewash, Volume 1. Okay, if the ancient Hebrews were truly of stronger Neanderthal genetic stock, then surely the Old Testament, in addition to the vast body of Jewish exegetical writing, would have a lot more to say about it. And indeed it does. He quotes Rabbi Yana in Ibn Aaron's discussion of the Hebrews' genetic variations, okay? Because there were different factions of Hebrews as well, okay? Our main concern must rest with the creature who terrified the Israelites during the exodus from Egypt and their period of wandering in the Sinai desert. There were the Shadim, the destroyers, who had been known to the patriarchs Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob as the Serim, the hairy ones. There were other hairy ones besides Esau. Many, in fact, the scapegoats, because white folk and scapegoats are synonymous with each other, and black people and sheep are synonymous with each other. Okay. According to the rabbi, he quotes, the Serim are none other than the destroyers, the sons of Esau. Rebekah's sons were Esau and Jacob, representing evil and good. The biblical Esau was born red all over like a hairy garment, describes a white man, Genesis 25, verse 25. His twin brother Jacob was smooth. Esau later changed his name to Edom, meaning red. Okay. Counterfeit impostor Jews, the hated white Khazars, second usurpers of the real Jews. Okay. The Khazars are the hated ones. Okay. Which we already know because of Adolf Hitler. Okay. Over 90% of the people who call themselves Jews today are European to the bone. They are imposters. They are Khazars with no Semitic or Israelite roots whatsoever. The Khazars were a powerful warlike European tribe that all converted to Judaism during the Middle Ages. Historians are now recognizing that the majority of Eastern so-called Jews are actually Khazars and have no Semitic roots whatsoever. The Khazars are imposters. Well-suppressed knowledge is emerging about this warlike tribe of albinos that rose to vast power in Eastern Europe and were hated by other albinos they conquered due to their severe exploitative treatment of them. Okay? And I'll be back with more information on what's going on with these Hebrews.